Assalamu alaikum. Hey, this is Abdul Shahid from Quranic Connection TV, and welcome back to the Daily Quran Challenge. In today's episode, we are talking about Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 138. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says,
Sabghatullah, وَمَنْ أَحْسَنُ مِنَ اللَّهِ صِبْغَةً وَنَحْنُ لَهُ عَابِدُونَ.
Allah says, say to them, who is them? Those people throwing all these alien ideas at you, trying to make you steer away from your beliefs in Allah. And what are they saying? Allah says, say in return to them, our religion is the religion of Allah. And who is better in ordaining or establishing a system of life, a religion, which is a system of life, other than Allah? And we are worshippers of Him. And so here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us how to respond to these ideas. Now, in order to understand, why do the translators translate this to mean religion of Allah, Sabghatullah? Because the word Sabghatun, the root of this word, it comes from the meaning of to dye something. It comes from Sabagha. Sabagha is to dye something. You know, like take a garment and you dip it into a bowl full of dye, and it comes out a different color. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Sabghatullah. Now, why does Allah use this word? Because we know that every human has been created upon the Fitrah. The Fitrah, the natural disposition. Now, the natural disposition is one that we were all created with. And then we veered away from that. And then we became Christians and Jews and Hindus and whatever else people follow, right? And here, what happened is that the inclination that we were created upon, which is to be generous, which is to be giving, which is to be merciful, which is to be patient and tolerant, which is to be loving, all of these, which is to love justice, all of these characteristics are a part of the Fitrah, is how all of humanity has been created. And that's why you find in all the different religions, you find people that follow those religions, the adherents of those religions, amongst them there are people who are just in their speech and in their thinking, and you find that they are compassionate, you find that there's mercy found in them, and you find all the characteristics of the Fitrah in these people, just like you will find them in any human on the face of the planet. So the number one thing here is that a person is created upon the Fitrah. The Fitrah is the natural disposition. What do you incline towards? We all humans, we all incline towards good, right? We're not created for bad. We are created to worship Allah. All of us, all humans, and we all incline towards good. Now, what is that inclination? That inclination is like a compass that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put inside of every human. And that compass, it points to the direction of Allah. It points to the direction of Allah because from Allah comes all of mercy, it comes all of justice, all of tolerance and patience, and all of the good virtues that we look for as humans. They are all from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from the perfection of Allah. So Allah puts in us each a compass that will incline us towards the good. But then what happens is that we are then taken like that garment and we're dipped in a bowl of water mixed with things that are not so good. And those things then become a part of us. And the garment, when you take it out, it's now tainted, it's colored by the color of the water or the dye that you put in the water. Now, here, if a Jew was to take a newborn child who is inclined towards Allah and dip them in the dye of Judaism and their ideas and their concepts and their beliefs, then take that child out, and the child now inclines towards whatever it is that they've taught them. The inclination towards Allah has changed. The inclination towards the various virtues that we want have been changed in accordance to their belief systems. Now, if you take an atheist, and an atheist takes their child and dips them in the bowl full of dye, and this dye is full of all the ideas and concepts and belief systems that they want to instill in that child, and you take that child out and the child grows up and that child now has all the ideas of an atheist. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says here, what is better than the religion of Allah, or the dye of Allah, the water that's filled with divine dye, that color that when you take the innocent newborn child and dip them into the water, and they come out, they have all the ideas that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taught us, all the virtues and the inclinations that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taught us. That child comes out like merciful because of Allah. That child comes out being inclined towards serving Allah, so the child is giving. That child comes out inclined towards Allah, and so the child does not steal. That child comes out inclined towards Allah, so the child does not transgress another's right, is merciful, it loves justice, but not only loves it, but establishes justice as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has commanded us. So look, you take a child and you dip them into the water of that faith or that ideology, and the child will come out like inclining towards that and no longer inclining towards Allah. The compass that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts inside us is constantly dragging them back to Allah. That's the reminder that every human gets, because every human, Allah, just because the child's been raised an atheist or a Buddhist or whatever it is, like Allah is not going to leave them to that. Allah will pull them using that compass. That compass inclines towards the justice of Allah. It inclines towards the mercy of Allah. It inclines towards like stopping the harm. It inclines towards all the good things and the virtues that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala teaches in His system of life. And that's why the translators, they translate this as a system of Allah, the deen of Allah, because the deen of Allah is a system of life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created us and given us a perfect roadmap, a roadmap from where we are in our lives right to Jannah. And the thing is, it's not just the roadmap to Jannah, but Allah has warned about all of the diversions that come along, all of the things that will pull you aside. And that's why in this verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Sabghatullah. Now, the word sabagha, like I said, it means to dye something. So it means to dye something. So it's as though that you're taking yourself and you're dyeing yourself in the perfection of Allah. Because you and I as humans, we're not perfect and we make mistakes. Like it's human nature to incline towards whatever is around us. So the distractions, they pull us one way, distractions pull us another way. But the internal compass will always point you back to Allah. Whether you are a Muslim or an atheist or whoever you are, even the one who does not believe in Allah, the internal compass pulls them towards Allah. And Allah says here, وَمَنْ أَحْسَنُ مِنَ اللَّهِ صِبْغَةً. Like, who is better than Allah in establishing a system that will give you absolute success? And that's what this is all about. So the lesson that we take from this is that Allah has given you a perfect system of life. It's not a religion of just worship, which means to just sit on a prayer mat or in a masjid or like doing the tasbih, like whatever it is that you do. Like, it is not a religion of inactivity. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us a system of life. The deen of Allah is a system of life. It will get you success in your relationships, in your health, in your wealth, in your worship, in your connections with other people, in your community. And all you have to do is find out about it. Like, dip yourself into the water of Allah. Dip yourself into the water of knowledge, the fountain of knowledge, and that's where you will find that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has placed in their guidance to show you how to attain the best possible versions of yourself, how to become who you were created to be. And inshallah, you can do this just like every other human can do this. Like you and I, we were created for this. Like we were created for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we were created to have the best lives possible. And Allah prepares us through this system of life. This system of life is not just a bunch of instructions. Allah enables us, empowers us with lots of different skills. So as we go through this journey, like, look for the things that empower you. That's the number one goal. When you're reading the Quran, when you're reading these verses, like, look for the thing that will empower you into becoming someone that you are supposed to be. Not who you are now, because who you are now, you have to become a person who walks forward and not walks backward. You don't want to remain who you are and the world is just leaving you behind. You want to become the best possible you and be of those who are giving. Because that's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from us. So, Jazakumullah khair. Like, leave any comments. Like, I'd love to hear your ideas, your thoughts. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.